Hello students. 1 week before we have completed the study of solid state. I hope you all are doing well with it. Now we are going to start the second chapter, that is solution and colligative properties. It has probably 5 marks weightage in the board exam. This chapter includes physical phenomena from daily life, some derivations and numericals. So you will feel interesting to study this chapter. For this chapter, I couldn't slate webinar because of cloudy atmosphere. Network issue has arisen. I thought this option will be the best to communicate the chapter effectively during this crisis. If you go well with this, we will continue to use this way till the atmosphere becomes clear. It has become crucial to use such a media amid the pandemic. However, whatever the crisis may be, we are not going to stop. The show must go on. So today we are going to discuss the solution and colligative properties by using some slides. The solution term is not new for us. In our daily life, we come across variety of solutions. But we don't think about that in detail. Every day we consume different beverages, hot beverages, cold beverages, refreshing drinks. The key component of majority of beverages is water. In water, some other substances are dissolved and solution is made. Whatever the substance dissolved is called solute and water is solvent. Water is capable to dissolve many substances in it due to its high dielectric constant. These are called aqueous solutions. In the contrary to this are non-aqueous solutions, which do not use water to dissolve the substances. So, without water, survival of life is impossible, can't be imagined. Another vital thing for the survival of life is air. Air is also a solution. We need oxygen for breathing. It's a vital component. A solution is defined as a homogeneous mixture of two or more chemically non-reacting substances whose composition can be varied within certain limits. Different life processes, biological processes use different solutions. Different metabolic activities in our body happens by using ample number of solutions. So we are much familiar with the term solution. See this picture, this shows decoction of tea or coffee, a favorite drink. Most Indians drink this beverage every day in the morning and evening. This is made by boiling tea leaves or tea powder in water, adding little sugar and milk. So this is nothing but the solution. See few more examples of solution. Soda, carbonated drink, carbon dioxide is dissolved in water and this is made. Lemonade, lemon juice in water with little sugar or salt to test it. So these are few examples. Before going to solution in detail, we need to study some basic concepts. In the 11th class, you have studied about the mixtures. A mixture is a combination of two or more chemically non-reacting substances. In a mixture, whatever the substances mixed, they do not react chemically. And the proportion of that substances mixed is not fixed. That can be varied within certain limit. proportion can be varied. Proportion of the substances which are mixed is not definite. And the substances do not react, so they do not form any new substance. So the mixture shows all the properties of the original substances. Mixtures are exactly opposite of the compounds. In the compounds, whatever the substances mixed, they react to form the new substance, and the new substance formed do not show any properties of the original substances. And in the formation of the compound, whatever the substances are mixed, they are mixed in the definite proportion. Their proportion is fixed. So this is the difference between mixture and compound. Mixtures are opposite of the compound. Depending on the phases, mixtures are classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous. These terms are Greek words, Greek terms. Homos, Greek. Homos, same. Heteros, different. Genos, kind. Here, kind is used for the phase. So, homogeneous, same phase. Heterogeneous, different phase. Phase, what is the meaning of phase? A distinct part, a distinguishable part is called as a phase. In this figure, homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures are diagrammatically depicted to make the concepts clear. See here in the first diagram, violet colored balls and pistachio colored balls are not uniformly distributed into each other. They are unevenly distributed, which forms the two distinct phases, violet colored phase and pistachio colored phase. Two phases it forms. In the homogeneous mixture, violet colored and pistachio colored balls are uniformly distributed into each other, evenly distributed into each other. So the composition is same throughout. Any distinct phase we can't observe in that. One phase only in the homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture has same phase throughout as they are uniformly distributed. The mixing of components is uniform. So the same composition throughout, and the components can't be seen. As the component can't be seen and the composition is same throughout, these cannot be separated by simple physical methods such as filtration or centrifuging. Example is ocean water. It is also called brine solution. In ocean water, different salts are dissolved, and the salt particles are uniformly distributed all over the water. We can't find the salt particles there. You can't observe these salt particles in that solution. They are uniformly distributed. Sugar solution. Add little crystals of the sugar into the water, stir it well, you will get the sugar solution. But sugar particles are not visible. The sugar solution is of same phase. So homogeneous. Heterogeneous mixture, hetero, different. Genos is for phase. It has different phases. The mixing of components is non-uniform. Components are unevenly distributed into each other, so form the distinct phases. So that as they are unevenly distributed, the composition will not be same throughout. Different composition. Generally, components can be seen. Components are visible. As they are visible, they can be separated just by picking up the components apart. Example, sand in water. Put the handful of sand in water. The sand settles at the bottom. Just by with the hand you can separate the sand, or filter it. After filtration you will get sand on the filter paper. Because sand particles are larger in size, they can't pass through the pores of the filter paper. They remain on the filter paper. Hence water and sand can be separated just by filtration. Soil in water, same way. Filter it. You will get soil particles separated from the water. Fruit salad, it is made by mixing the pieces, small pieces of the different fruits, and that are visible. So just by picking up the pieces of the same fruit, you can make it aside. You can separate the components just by picking up. So physical methods can be employed here to separate the components. So heterogeneous mixture. Difference points are listed in the tabular form. Homogeneous mixture, uniform composition. Composition is uniform throughout. Heterogeneous composition is different, non-uniform composition. Homo, only one phase. Hetero, different phases. Homogeneous components cannot be separated physically. Simple physical methods are not useful to separate the components of this homogeneous mixture. Here, simple physical methods just like filtration and centrifuging are useful to separate the components. So this is about the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixtures are classified according to the size of their constituent particles as true solutions or colloidal solutions. See, true solution particle size ranges between 0.1 nanometer to 1 nanometer, means the true solution particle size is less than 1 nanometer, and 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So the particle size will be less than 10 raised to minus 9 meter. And we know that 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 2 centimeter. So in the centimeter it becomes less than 10 raised to minus 7 centimeter. In the colloidal solution, particle size ranges between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. That is greater than 1 nanometer, we can say. Greater than 1 nanometer, greater than 10 raised to minus 9 meter, or greater than 10 raised to minus 7 centimeter. As the size indicates, the units indicates the size of the particles. See, in the true solution particles are tiny atoms, ions or molecules, very tiny, very small particles, very small particles. So they are microparticles. But the colloidal solution particles are large sized molecules. Large sized particles or large sized particles are called as macromolecules. Or a particle is the aggregate of small molecules. Aggregate of small molecules, and that forms a colloidal sized particle. Aggregate of small molecules forms a large sized molecule that falls in the colloidal range. Here differentiation is given between true solution and colloidal solution. So these are the different points. A true solution is a homogeneous liquid containing two or more substances. Colloidal solution is heterogeneous mixture. Why it is said heterogeneous? Because the particle size is little bigger than the true solution particle size, and these particles are seen under the microscope and they can be separated. So these are called as colloidal solutions are called as heterogeneous. True solutions are homogeneous. True solutions are transparent. These are transparent. These appears translucent. They seem like translucent, but they are not. They seem like transparent, but they are not transparent actually. So they are translucent. The size of the particle is less than 1 nanometer. The size of the particle is greater than 1 nanometer and up to 100 nanometer. True solutions are invisible to naked eye. True solutions are invisible to naked eye and under powerful microscopes. But the colloidal solutions are invisible to naked eye but are visible under powerful microscopes. To see them, we can use powerful microscopes. Colloidal solutions, particles cannot be separated through filtering. But the colloidal solution particles can be separated through filtering or through filtering, but the filter paper used is parchment paper. So by using parchment paper, this can be separated. See, these are the pictures which shows true solution and colloidal solution. In the true solution, this is the copper sulfate solution. See, blue colored. Solution is transparent. Here, this solution is not transparent. See this beaker, this glass. The solution appears translucent. It is not clear. It looks little turbid. So it is translucent. Right? In this chapter, we deal with the properties of homogeneous mixtures, especially of true solutions only. We are not going to deal with the colloidal solutions. In the 11th class, we have studied colloidal solutions in detail. Now, this year, we are going to study about the true solutions. In our daily life, we come across various types of solutions. Body fluids, all beverages, industrial solutions, laboratory solutions, some gaseous solutions. Without solutions, life can't be imagined, not possible only. The solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more pure substances. Two or more pure substances are mixed that are not going to react. A true solution consists of a solvent and two or more solute dissolved in it. We are interested only in the properties of binary true solutions. Binary solutions. Binary solutions are the solutions in which only one solute is dissolved in the solvent. Only one solute is dissolved in the solvent. So that is the binary solution. Binary by two components only. One is solvent and one is solute. Only two components. In a solvent, more than two solutes can be dissolved. But we are not going to deal with such a type of solutions. We are going to study the solutions which contains only one solute dissolved in it. That is called as the binary solution. Binary, only two components. First component is solvent and the second component is solute, dissolved in it. Means only one solute is dissolved in it. Such a type of solution we are going to study in this chapter. Solution is made of solute and solvent. Solute and solvent may be in any of three states, namely solid, liquid or gas. Solute may be in the solid, liquid or gas, or solvent may be solid, liquid or gas. In any state it may present. The solutions thus may involve any combination of these three states of their components. So this gives 9 types of solutions. This gives 9 types of solutions depending on the states of solute and solvent. Depending on the states of solute and solvent. As I told, solute can be solid, liquid or gas. Solvent also can be solid, liquid or gas. 9 types of solutions are listed in the table. Now see, in this case, solid solute is dissolved in the liquid solvent. Some examples are given. These examples are given. Okay? Solid solute is dissolved in the solid alloys. Solid solute is dissolved in the gas. Example, iodine in air. Sublimation takes place. Then liquid solute can be dissolved in the liquid solvent. So example is gasoline, ethanoline, water. These are the examples. Liquid solute can be dissolved in the solid. Solid is the solvent. So amalgams. Examples are amalgams. Liquid solute can be dissolved in the gas. Chloroformine, nitrogen. Gas solute is dissolved in the liquid solvent. We come across these types of the solution in our daily life. Then gas solute is dissolved in the solid solvent. Example, hydrogen gas, aerosol on palladium. Then gas solute is dissolved in the gas. But the last one is not considered as a solution. But here it is listed. So total there are 9 types of solutions. 3 are solid solutions. 3 solid solutions, 3 liquid solutions, 3 gaseous solutions. What does it mean? Actually, solid solutions. Solid, liquid, gas dissolved in the solid, called as the solid solutions. Solid, liquid, gas dissolved in the liquid, called as liquid solutions. Solid, liquid, gas dissolved in the gas, called as gaseous solutions. So 3 solid solutions, 3 liquid solutions, 3 gaseous solutions will get total 9 types of the solutions. But out of various types of solutions, we are interested only in the liquid solutions. Which liquid solution? Solid dissolved in liquid and gas dissolved in the liquid. Only we are going to study in detail 2 types of the solutions, that are liquid solutions. Which are the 2 liquid solutions? The first one, solid dissolved in liquid, and second one, gas dissolved in liquid. So we will confine our study to the only 2 solutions, solid in liquid, gas in liquid. So in the further part we will study the solid in liquid type of solutions and their properties. So for today this much is enough.